Star Wars: The Clone Wars is one of the greatest works of Star Wars media ever created, and an integral part of the eponymous clones themselves. The stories of Captain Rex, Wolffe, Echo, Fives, Raxa, Boyle, Cut Lawquane, and so many others captivate us season after season. So how about we shed some light on one such clone? An expert strategist and widely capable leader with a strong sense of loyalty. It's everyone's favourite rule and protocol enjoyer, Commander Cody. The right-hand man of Obi-Wan Kenobi and close friend of Captain Rex. It's an iconic character in the Star Wars universe, but the majority of what we know about him is confined to a roughly 3-year time span of the Clone Wars.
Come on, when have I ever let you down?
Very well. The burden is on me not to destroy all the droids until you arrive.
Aside from Cody in his 212, now serving with stormtroopers, enforcing the enslavement of the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk, we know next to nothing about Cody's life after the Clone Wars, or about his service to the Empire. And here we come to the topic of today, but canon leaves a tantalizing question unanswered. How does the veteran commander meet his final end? Did he go out in a blaze of glory? Was he cut down by a Jedi survivor? Or did he die of old age of a peaceful death? Even though the Bad Batch is beginning to answer this mystery, let's take a dive into Legends to see what potential end might await Commander Cody. After the end of the Clone Wars, Emperor Palpatine set about reorganizing the Grand Army of the Republic, with the surviving clones being the backbone of the new Stormtrooper Corps. As mentioned, Commander Cody continued his military service as a Stormtrooper for several years in Legends. By 1 BBY, Cody was stationed back on his homeworld of Kamino and given command of an Imperial battalion charged with protecting cloning facilities of Tamara City. By this point, most of his clones had been phased out for Stormtrooper Corps and replaced by naturally born humans. While at the Kaminoan garrison, Cody thoroughly tested and drilled his soldiers constantly, and found himself sorely disappointed by the performance of his men compared to his old clone brothers. This dislike wasn't one-sided, as the soldiers disdained Cody's leadership style, especially his insistence on constant patrols in seemingly everlasting grim weather on the planet, which they saw as entirely unnecessary due to Kamino's heavily fortified position. The aggravated feelings of the soldiers, and Cody's own dismissive attitude towards them, drained the morale out of these troops. Unbeknownst to Cody, disaster would soon strike. The Kaminoans were working on a special project ordered by Darth Vader himself, to craft a clone of the deceased Galen Marc, codenamed Starkiller, Vader's secret apprentice. However, the experimental cloning procedure was far from perfect, and many clones were rejected for genetic faults or possessing residual memories from Galen himself. One such clone developed an obsession with finding Juno Eclipse, the woman Galen, the original one, had fallen in love with, which drove him to go rogue, eventually escaping Kamino in Vader's own TIE Advanced fighter, despite the best efforts of Imperial forces. Later, the Starkiller clone was lured back to Kamino, as Boba Fett had captured Juno and delivered to Vader as bait. As expected, the bait worked, but very unexpectedly, Starkiller brought the entire Rebel fleet with him. After an intense space battle and ground battle, with high casualties on both sides, Starkiller managed to save Juno and capture Vader, while the rebels destroyed the Tamara City cloning facilities, and wiped out the Imperial garrison. So that's it then. Cody fell in battle alongside his battalion, except his death is never actually confirmed, leaving the matter just as ambiguous as an implication. So not even Legends can give us a definitive answer, but this does give us much more to speculate on. It seems most likely that Cody would continue serving in the Stormtrooper Corps, even after his clone brothers were phased out. He is too valuable a military asset to just discard and put by the side. His Legends trajectory of moving from frontline commander to drill instructor seemed the most logical choice for the character. While the story is described couldn't happen with also making the Force Unleashed games canon, which to be fair could happen, the framework of that story could well be adapted into canon one day, defending his post to a bitter end, but Cody is by no means restricted to follow in his Legends' footsteps. He could very well fall in service of the Empire, which would make a great piece of the tragedy. Or he could join a rebellion, like Rex did. It would be a fan-pleasing moment to see the old war buddies back at it again. With Cody now appearing in the second season of The Bad Batch, we've gotten some insight into his life serving the Empire, and isn't that long-lived. After a mission to Desix to rescue an imprisoned Imperial governor from a separatist uprising, and promising a peaceful negotiation before seeing the leader of the separatist forces shot on orders of the Imperial governor, Cody goes AWHOL and leaves the Empire. So Cody and canon will have a drastically different path than he did in Star Wars Legends, especially with Kamino kind of gone. Yes, I know it was only Topoka gone, but we can presume the other cities might be destroyed. Cody is also no longer in the Empire anymore, so he definitely isn't going to die as an Imperial soldier on Kamino. What does the future hold for one of our favourite clone commanders? We'll have to keep watching the Bad Batch and maybe any future stories that may contain Cody, which we're definitely more excited for. What do you think about the change of Cody's life between canon and Legends? Would you have preferred him to stay in the Empire and be a good soldier that follows orders? Or going AWHOL and perhaps atoning for betrayal against the Jedi and the Republic? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, Exalted Ones, that's myself here on Star Wars Now. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest Star Wars news, lore, and more. You can also follow us on social media as well, but make sure to let us know what you think in the video comment section below. Because if you're talking Star Wars, we want to hear about it. That's it for myself here on Star Wars Now. I have been Captain Jack. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.